The school year is here, and the Sports Desk is bringing you fall football expectations. Can South High keep up the momentum without the infamous QB who transferred? They think so. We'll let you be the judge. Running back Ryan McDaniel is a franchise name out of North. It's bigger than Mickey D's. Does Croce's crew have more in store for the Pioneer League? Plus, the Torrance Tars have more offensive options this year, but can inexperience at the quarterback position be what hurts them or what helps them this season? And can the West Warriors keep the rest of the league at bay with their defense this season, or they're going to have to lean on Barry Thomas and company? And over at El Camino, Coach Feather's crew looks to rebound after last season's troubles. Find out more. It's all coming up on this edition of the Sports Desk Fall Football Previews. Get fired up because it starts right now, peeps. Welcome to the Fall 2011 sports season. I'm Bonnie Prickitt and you're watching the Sports Desk. The smell of football is in the air, so that means it's time for football previews. Prep sports are cyclical, meaning some years you have great talent, and other years the coaches try to strategize with what they have on the roster. This season there are a few coaches here in the South Bay who are lucky enough to have those rare athletic players that make the difference. Let's go ahead and start with one of the most impressive teams out of the Southern section last season, the Spartans. They ended their 2010 season with an impressive 12-2 record. The second loss was on the last play of the Southern section final game up in Lompoc, and 4 of their games were shutouts, and the defense only let opponents average 11 points per game. This season, they must prepare after losing major players. One of them is a quarterback who transferred to Carson High. Ashley Morgado fills us in.
As the whistles blow, the Spartans of South High train for another great football season. Coming off of an incredible run to a historic first appearance in the CIF Division Final, this team is working hard to not only get there again, but hopefully finish this time with the win.
Last year's season was pretty good. We executed a lot during the games and played physical a lot. And overall, it was one of the best years I think I could ever have in football.
South lost to the Lompoc Braves in the very last play for the CIF Southern Section Northwest Division Final with a score of 20-14. Barely coming up short has left a bad taste for the returning team members, but with many coming back, there's an optimistic attitude towards a shot at redemption.
We're excited. We have 4 guys who are back on our offensive line from last year's team, and we have quite a few guys that saw quite a bit of playing time last year on the defensive side of the ball, and we have 2 extremely great kickers. We got a great punter and a great kicker, so we're excited about that aspect as well.
Returners are going to be a huge factor for this younger football team, and one that the squad was counting on probably the most transferred out of South High. Senior starting quarterback Kevin McMahon made the dramatic decision to leave the Spartans and play for Carson High School.
The South High Spartans may have lost their starting quarterback, but Coach Waybright is more than confident that his young quarterbacks will take the team to another CIF title position.
We got 2 guys battling out right now at that position, and we're real excited about what they can do and what we think they're going to be able to do this year. They've done a great job with their reads. They've done a great job of getting rid of the ball on time, and they've made some plays. So no, we're definitely excited about the 2 guys we have battling out at that spot right now.
Another aspect of the Spartans game that the players and staff are excited about is their veteran-heavy O-line. With that advantage, the team is confident in their ability.
Our strengths, I believe our offense, because the whole O-line is coming back.
As a team, we've been getting really better, and we've been able to do a lot more things lately, and I think we've been really improving.
A veteran offense is their advantage, but their rookie defense may hold them back. The loss of 3-star linebackers could be a problem if the underclassmen don't step up.
Our weakness, maybe our defense, but I think we're doing pretty good in that. A lot of people are stepping up and doing really good in that.
We're moving in some new linebackers this year, and we had 3 all-league linebackers who graduated. Lost a couple great running backs. We had a hell of an offensive tackle left from last year's team in Reed Thill. And we're a little concerned about some depth up front, but I'm sure it's the same for all the other schools.
For the Spartans, their strong offense might prove clutch during season, or the rookie defense could prove big and come through. However, for now, Coach Waybright is only concerned with this simple game.
Fundamentals. We really believe, the team that tackles and blocks better is a team that, usually going to come up on the better end of the scoreboard.
Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Ashley Morgado.
And thanks to Ashley Morgado for the preview. Linebacker Eric Capicchione had 14 tackles, and they're going to miss him. You can check him out, though, over at El Camino. Another huge loss is Brent Malone. He was Defensive Player of the Year. As a major playmaker for the Spartans, Dylan Redondo's running game is one of the biggest offensive losses they could have. But we must also mention quarterback Kevin McMahon. As a loss, he transferred to Carson. McMahon threw for 15 touchdowns. The positive spin now, let's remember Colton Glandorf, whose experience will fill the gaps. Brandon Loera is 5'8", 175 pounds. Big guy. He's going to pick up the slack in the running attack. Hard to bring him down. And finally, Curtis Heineman was an all-CIF senior guard standing at 6'1", 315 pounds, and he's one of the big impact players for the Spartans. Let's go ahead and break down another Pioneer League team. The North Saxons are led by Coach Todd Croce. He plays the basic rules of prep football. Play fundamental football and focus on your strengths, then everything else will fall into place. And the Saxons are lucky this season to have a phenomenal running back in Ryan McDaniel. But Sports Desk reporter Ryan Fournier tells us that's not all that North has going for it this season.
North Saxon football is back after a 7-4 record overall, finishing second in the Pioneer League and a playoff berth. This team is looking to take that even further. With a strong leadership and returning starter Ryan McDaniel on both offense and defense, this team is focused and ready to go. I had a chance to sit back and talk with Steven Jalous, Justin Rodriguez, and Ryan McDaniel about how the defensive side of the ball is going to round out for the season.
We're looking pretty good. We got a lot of returners, and a lot of people are hoping that they'll do some work this year. We have one corner who's been playing all 4 years, and our safeties, Mikey Gerardo, he started last year. He's going to be a junior, and we got one fresh corner, but he's looking pretty good too.
We have high aspirations this year. We're planning to go 14-0, so we've got to get this first one under our belt and get the W.
Everybody's listening, everybody's following me, and then I have my other captains there to help me out. And they're being really great leaders too.
Who's the wildest guy on defense?
It's probably Ryan, because he can hit us pretty hard. Yeah, we know how good Ryan's going to be. We're trying to help him, and he helps us, so he's a leader on both sides of the ball.
How about the offense? A couple key losses from last year's squad is wide receiver Michael Thompson and at quarterback Jonathan Garcia. To fill in that quarterback role is a bright, young, strong-armed junior in George Hernandez. Coach Croce feels really good about having Hernandez be his #1 guy at the quarterback position.
He's got a good arm, and we wish he were, a foot taller and a lot heavier, but he's a good, hard-working kid. He's a competitive, feisty guy, and good mobility, and he's looking like the guy, and he's looking like he'll really contribute to the offense.
He did really good on JV last year, and we got a lot of faith in him.
Let's not forget about big star running back Ryan McDaniel, returning his senior year, who's in the MaxPreps.com top 20 big backs in the country. He doesn't have the biggest offensive line, but he sure does love them. They're excited. He's excited for a big year to come.
I love the offensive line this year. They open up great holes. They're fast, but not the biggest, but they're fast. They open up the holes, and they're experienced. Like last year, our line had 3 sophomores on it, and a couple of seniors. We only lost 1 guy on our starting line. So now we're just getting the ball rolling.
He's been working his tail off since last season to get himself ready for this. Put himself in a good place in the classroom as well as out on the field. Great in the weight room, and so he's ready to rock and roll and put the pressure on himself and be the guy. So we're happy with everything so far. The sky's the limit. We think we can go out there and each game we want to have the attitude that we have a chance to win and go out there and perform at our highest level. And, we may not get every single one, but we're going to go out there with that attitude.
The North Saxons are excited to get the season started. With a strong leadership from Ryan McDaniel on both offense and defense, a young QB looking ready to play, and a much improved offensive line, the North Saxons are looking for a very positive season. Reporting from North High School with the Sports Desk, I'm Ryan Fournier.
Thanks, Ryan Fournier, for the reporting. The Saxons' key losses are obviously Jonathan Garcia, quarterback, and they're surely going to miss Michael Thompson's vert at wide receiver and DB. Daniel Ramos made an impact for sure with key interceptions that changed the game for the Saxons. The most obvious key returner is Ryan McDaniel, and you should watch out for this kid. He has offers out the wazoo from Division I schools. He's going to make an impact on both sides of the ball. So the Pioneer League looks to be dominated by some pure talent this season. It should be a fun ride, especially with El Segundo in the mix. But coming up next, the Sports Desk shows you that North High isn't the only school with rare high school talent. That's right, the Tartars have some surprises up their sleeve. Stay tuned.
The preteen years are a challenging time, but they're also a good time to think about your child's health, which is why, if you're the parent of an 11 or 12-year-old, you need to know about preteen vaccines. Vaccines that can protect your preteen from meningitis, whooping cough, and for girls, the virus that causes cervical cancer. So schedule a checkup for your child today and ask about preteen vaccines, because your preteen might think that they're grown up, but they're counting on you to know better.
Brought to you by DHHS and the CDC.
Did you know that having diabetes puts you at risk for vision loss? I'm Dr. Robert Melendez for the American Academy of Ophthalmology. I see firsthand how vision problems can affect lives. We're urging adults with diabetes to strictly control their blood sugar levels and have dilated eye exams every year. Know your risks. Save your sight. To learn more about diabetes and eye health, visit getismart.org.
Hi, I'm Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn. Keep an eye on the Sports Desk.
Welcome back. We have one more Pioneer League football team to break down. The Torrance Tars aren't unfamiliar with success. They just haven't had it in recent years. With a 2-7-1 tie last year, they are doing nothing but improving. Coach Rock Hollis is still planning on running his favorite double wing tee, but there are some surprises ahead for opponents and Tartar fans. Let's go and take a look. Rock Hollis' squad looks to improve this season after winning only 2 games last fall. The Tartars had 2 major losses in players, quarterback Ralph Ramirez and Dylan Abel, who played running back and linebacker. Leading the team with spirited comedic relief and real talent on the field is senior Kwok Ho. He'll be starting at running back and cornerback. Joining Ho in the leadership role is senior Tyrone Taylor. He's a phenomenal athlete who Tartar opponents will definitely have trouble planning strategies against.
My goodness, he's probably one of the best football players that I've been around. One of the nicest young men you'll ever meet. But he's going to do some wonderful things.
According to Coach Hollis, Tyrone Taylor and others on the team will make a dent at wide receiver. That's right, the Torrance Tartars might be a passing team this season, but they couldn't do that without Jacob Kalama. This 6'4", 220-pound junior will be starting for the first time at the varsity level, but Kalama has a grasp on his own expectations.
First game's going to be huge nerves, but you kind of, once the adrenaline starts pumping, you kind of just get it out of your system, and first hit of the game is going to, obviously you're going to be a little timid, but once after that, you're just ready to go, ready to play football, because this is what I love to do. I love to play football.
Loving to play football definitely helps the QB in his offense, but it also helps if they like their quarterback. And that's not a problem.
But with Jacob as our quarterback this year, he opens up a lot of other plays and possibilities, and he's a great passer. So
the key to our success will be our line. And I think with the experience that our young guys had last year, coming back, most of them are going to be juniors, like I said. That experience that they got last year is going to make us a better football team because it's the line. You got to start with the line. You have a good line, you can make things happen.
Let's let Coach Hollis round out his plan for his offense this fall.
We want to make sure that we can pass the ball a little bit more this year. We want to be a more balanced offense.
But it's not just about offense. What about defense, Kwok Ho?
Offense win game, but defense win championship.
With more balance on both sides of the ball this season, what exactly are the Tartars' highest expectations?
I expect a lot of hustle on the field. Hopefully, like you said, we don't have any injuries, because last year that was a big part of the reason why we didn't do so well. So as long as everybody stays healthy, I think we should be all right.
Well, we want to win the league. We want to go far in the playoffs. We want to get into the playoffs. We haven't been there in a couple of years.
With confidence and real talent on the field, the Tartars have a good shot at meeting their expectations. The Tartars' key losses are Ralph Ramirez at quarterback, and their main ball carrier from last year is the talented Dylan Abel. There are a lot of key returners for the Tartars that weren't mentioned in my report. So besides Taylor and Kwok Ho, Malik Brown is another part of their monstrous Tartar offense. Shane Smith likes to block, and it doesn't matter if it's on the O or the D. Adam Dahl, at his 6 feet, 200 pounds, is an impressive linebacker and tight end. While Jacob Kalama is new at starting in the quarterback position, he's not new on the varsity since he played D backup last season. And that wraps it up for the Tartars. It looks like it's anyone's game this year in the Pioneer League, especially with all that special talent. Let's go ahead and talk about the Bay League now. We're going to get to it after the break. West Torrance is going to have to rely on a certain running back, but that's not the only thing that's coming this way. Stick around to find out more.
I felt like I was having a Charlie horse, but this was different. It burned and the pain went from one leg to the other, and I could not move. I literally sat up in bed and said, "Dear God, please don't let me die here."
Hello, I'm Dr. Richard Carmona, former United States Surgeon General, here with a serious message about a hidden killer. Did you know more than 100,000 Americans die from deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism every year? Do yourself a favor. Find out if you're at risk for DVT and what you can do right now to save your life.
Had I not survived, I would miss my daughter's wedding, the activities with our family, all these things. I couldn't miss them, and I'm really thankful that I didn't.
I assess the needs of a community to make sure that our work will be sustainable.
We are working to change the world to make it a better place.
Through our sustainable engineering projects, thousands of members in more than 225 universities and professional chapters work to support these efforts in over 45 countries.
To find out more about how you can get involved, go to www.ewb-usa.org and click Get Involved.
Build a better world with us.
Build a better world with us.
Build a better world with us, one community at a time.
The West Warriors are back in action, and they're looking to make a statement in the Bay League after last year's dismal 3-7 record. West went out on a high note, though, winning their last 2 games. The question this season will be defense. What and who leads them since losing 3 star players at graduation? Let's go out to check out what's happening at West this fall.
I'm Sarah Pila, and I'm really happy to be back for the fall 2011 season. I'm here at West High, where Coach Holt and the Warriors are working very hard to try to improve from last season's 3-7 record. Let's go ahead and take a look at what they got this season.
The West Warriors are coming off a season they'd rather forget. Finishing with a losing record, the players are looking at 2011 as their year. They'll miss some of their key players who have graduated, specifically their tight end Josh Giardini and 2 prominent linebackers, Taylor Jimian and Ricky Soto. However, this season is all about the preparation. This is something Coach Holt can't preach enough to his young team.
Well, hopefully they understand that, the results of hard work during practice, you don't win games on game night. You win it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the preparation. So they're working hard.
Junior running back Barry Thomas got hurt during last season, but he's hungry to get out on the field and play. He likes the longer practice schedule and feels they're getting more reps than last year and as a result getting more things done. He's also learning by watching himself on film.
Well, because I can see myself run the football. When I see myself run, I can see there goes a hole right there. So when I'm running the ball in the actual game, I know I need to look inside, look outside, whatever, look at my keys and all that.
This season, West is switching to the spread offense, and it seems this may be a good change for the Warriors.
I like it better because it spreads out the defense. Last year we had a lot of 8 guys in the box so they can stop the run, and now they're more spread out, so we have like 6, 7 guys in the box. And our lineman is more zone blocking instead of this man-on blocking. So if somebody misses a block, it's not that big of a deal as it was before.
Quarterback Joey Notch, who is also a junior, feels confident with his offense.
I feel we throw the ball a lot more, and I feel like me and the receivers, we do a lot of extra stuff like after practice and before practice. So I feel like we have a good connection, and we're just like clicking just good this summer.
Clicking is important because after last season, the players don't want to feel disappointed again. They want a winning season.
Yeah, I think we're a lot more fired up this year. We've been working hard in the off season in the weight room. Everyone's getting stronger. Everyone's just working a lot harder. I think we'll be able to win some good games this year and hopefully be champions here.
Sometimes to be champions, you need time off the field together, time to get to know one another and become more than just a squad of players.
I think we just need to get bond as a team better, get close as individuals, like just be a family with the team. So if we're close, we're gonna play together good.
I think that what we should do, like remember the movie Remember the Titans, we should come out here and like go to camp and stay here and sleep here. So we stay here all week, you know, instead of like going home and stuff. We stay here all week. We can like, actually bond and stuff, and like we can learn who all of our teammates are and stuff.
In order to bond, you also need leadership, and Coach looks to instill that thinking to everyone on his roster.
We talk about everybody trying to be a leader, you know, everybody trying to take that leadership role and understand the responsibility that each guy means to the team.
The Warriors are ready. They're excited to play their hearts out and prove themselves Game 1 in Culver City. For the Sports Desk, I'm Sarah Pila.
Thanks again to Sarah Pila, and welcome back on the Sports Desk. Key losses that might be hard to overcome, of course, the scholar athlete, Josh Giardini, who's now on the Harvard roster at 6 feet 2 inches tall. Taylor Jimian is going to be hard to replace too. Ricky Sato is a linebacker and key running back that they're going to be hard-pressed to fill in. But of course, Barry Thomas, who had more than just a few sparks last year, is expected to light up the Warrior offense. And that's about all we have for the prep football on this edition. Don't worry, we'll get to your favorite Delray League team next week. Coming up after the break, though, the El Camino Warriors stumbled last season, and can Coach Feather's crew rebound in the South Coast Conference? They're looking to get back to the top. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Mia Hamm. As a professional soccer player and a future soccer mom, I know how fun and rewarding sports can be. I also know how frustrating it is when you're sidelined by an injury. So I've teamed up with the American Association of Orthodontists to ask young athletes to play it safe when playing sports. I spent years training to become a world-class athlete. I know what it takes to become an expert on the field. Orthodontists understand this too. They're experts in their field, helping kids and adults obtain healthy, beautiful smiles. They want to help athletes prevent injuries and stay in the game. It only takes a second to get hurt, and too many athletes are risking injury because they're not properly equipped during games and practices. Wear the right protective gear, like mouth guards, face masks, and helmets. Your first line of defense against preventable injuries. Play it safe, achieve your goals, and keep smiling. Visit braces.org.
Hello, I'm Dr. Regina Benjamin, U.S. Surgeon General. Breastfeeding is a preventive measure that can protect babies from illnesses and infections, and there are also health benefits for mothers. While 75% of American mothers start out breastfeeding, only 13% of babies are exclusively breastfed at the end of 6 months, and the rates are much lower for African American infants. Whether you're a grandmother or an employer, you can help make it easier for moms to breastfeed. For more information, please go to surgeongeneral.gov.
Time was, kids did what came naturally, spending free time running through the grass, exploring streams. But times have changed. Today's indoor kids spend more than 7 hours in front of electronic media. That's why National Wildlife Federation created the Be Out There movement. Outdoor play improves kids' health, body, mind, and spirit. It helps them stay fit, enhances creativity, and could even make them better students. There's a reason they call it the Great Outdoors. Learn more at beoutthere.org.
It's time for JUCO football. Our favorite El Camino Warriors fell last season. not because they didn't have the talent, but because of an ineligible player. If you'll remember, they reported it to the South Coast Conference, forcing them to forfeit their first 4 wins. After losing momentum and the next 4 games, winning the last 2 wasn't much consolation. Coach Featherstone, his coaching staff, and the players want to forget last year and focus on being the top-ranked defense and being glad that they have options on the offense. Patrick Alog brings us the rest of the story.
Last year, El Camino finished with a record of 2-8, partly due to forfeiting 4 games. However, the team is looking to turn over a brand new leaf and win a state championship. Even though Coach John Featherstone would like to move on from last year's disappointment, he's using what happened last year to fuel his fire for this season.
We still have a sour taste in our mouth, and we want to change that.
Coming back this year will be key returners who include quarterback Omar Herrera, who passed for 1,800 yards, 12 touchdowns, and completed over 65% of his passes last year.
This year, I got to learn the offense a little better. I'm a little more confident. So, just wait till the first game start,
Omar Herrera, I think we're hoping he has another great year for us.
Herrera will be throwing to a new set of receivers as 5 total receptions is the most of all returners. But Coach Featherstone is confident. These freshman receivers include Luckner Brady and Kenny Holmes, both from the Miami area. Coming back this year will be a good stable of running backs.
Our 3 good running backs, we have Ricky Johnson from Long Beach Poly, and Alondra Johnson, who was a great runner for us last year, and Pete Walton, who was one of the best in the nation last year.
Last season, Walton had over 650 yards, over 80 yards per game, nearly 7 yards per carry, and had 8 touchdowns. The defense seems to be the strength for the Warriors this season.
They're very talented, they're really good athletes, and like I said, they're fast guys, they're smart guys, and they get to the point of attack very quickly. Like I said, a very fast and physical group.
Leading the way on defense this season are defensive lineman Jordan Tavai, who had 30 tackles and 3.5 sacks, and defensive back Royce Lewis, who had 46 tackles and 1 interception.
Actually, offense is younger than the defense, so in some games we might have to carry our team over the hump to get the victory. But I can tell you this, as long as our offense gives us 21 points, there's no way we're going to let a team outscore us to beat us.
And the team was successful in their first game of the year as they won at LA Southwest College by a score of 43-17. Reporting from El Camino College, I'm Patrick Alog for the Sports Desk.
Thanks to Patrick Alog. The Warrior football team is going to be missing some of their key losses. Now, Miles Mason on the O-line signed Utah. Josh Brinson is at Pittsburgh. Kevin Norrell, who is a wide receiver at Stony Brook and New York State, will be missed. Defensive end Ryan Inade takes his talents to Idaho. And we couldn't leave off Andrew Kirsten from the offensive line, who's at New Mexico State. Finally, Mose Denton is a DB for the Ohio Bobcats. Now please note this is only a partial list for the some 20 Warrior players who signed at the next level. If you want to find a list of that, you can always go to the El Camino website. A quick hit list for the key returners. Omar Herrera is a quarterback. Peter Walton is a running back. Expect a lot of him this year. Royce Lewis is a DB. Jordan Tavai out of Miracosta is a sophomore, and he's on the defensive line. Kellen Lockwood is a linebacker. And West alum Ronnie Clark will give the Warriors another option at the quarterback position. El Camino's already played a football game. Let's take a look at their score. You probably already know that they beat LA Southwest 43-17. Omar Herrera was 18-27 and had a touchdown. It's early in the season, but Ricky Johnson is a freshman out of Long Beach Poly who is impressing us with 2 touchdowns. Sophomore Jared Shaw scored as well, and we'll be on the lookout for him for sure. El Camino will host Grossmont College this week. Go ahead and take a look at their roster. I'm sure you'll be impressed with the number of talented players that are out of the South Bay. Now it's your turn to let us know how we can have stuff on the show we don't already know about. Give us a call at the number on your screen, 618-5762. Email us, and you can see all of our shows online at torranceca.gov and YouTube. That's about all the time we have for today. We got Bishop Montgomery previews coming up next week. So until next time, Torrance, play hard.